how norms are created and also how to manage good group dynamics so you have a cohesive and successful group.
Okay, so we're going to talk about setting personal and group goals in a group.
You have to come from behind the podium to get to be videotaped. Both of you have to come. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
can see you that come on this side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in a group, all individuals will have their own goal that they're trying to work towards, as well as there will be a group, a goal that the whole group sets together. And what the goal is an end that all the individuals in the group are working to achieve. And usually when there is a goal that that you work together to make, more likely everyone will actually put in the effort to achieve that goal. Everyone's goal may be different in the group. And then there's actually some members of the group who may not know what their goal is yet.
Right there, hang on.
Clicker?
I'm a little bit.
Oh, this is nice.
Okay, so hidden agendas. Hidden agendas are when there's like a goal that an individual member has and they may not have made it known to the group yet. And a way to minimize this is to make sure your goals are set and clear at the beginning of each group.
All right, so establishing group goals. Tiffany spoke a little bit about the importance of the group having their personal goals and the group goals being connected. So when discussing creating the goals, it's important for the leader and the members of the group to be involved in this process. That way, they show commitment to it. So a possible option that the book discussed was interviewing the individuals beforehand, before the group started, just to see kind of where they're at, how they're feeling, what their personal goals are, and see if the group goals match with them. And it's also important to prioritize the short-term and the long-term goals. That way they seem attainable and that they're able to accomplish it. It's also important, let me move this way, to once you have all the goals finalized, to print that or share it with the group. That way everyone knows specifically what's the reason for them being in the group. And when you have that, you're able to evaluate the process and see just how successful it is. So operational and measurable goals. Operational goals are basically measurable goals, something that you can attain by action. So an example of that would be giving a quiz right after the slideshow just to see how much we've taught you and just kind of like measuring those goals, right? Just kind of measuring those goals and see if what we taught was effective and that you actually learned something from this. So for non-operational goals, they're hard to achieve because you can't complete them through action. So for example, if someone goes ahead and tells you to cure all emotional problems, you can't really do that because there's not a lot of there's not treatment for all emotional problems, so it's not like something that you can achieve. It's kind of difficult to do so. So a few lists of how to have effective goals when creating them with your group. Number one, make sure that they are clear and measurable. So create those operational goals, something that you can evaluate the progress with. Number two, make sure they are relevant and meaningful. With this being said, it's just important to make sure that the people in your group are engaged and that they actually want to be committed to something. So that the purpose of the goal of the group in its entirety is it matches their own personal goals. Number three, make sure personal and group goals can be attained. Don't make something that's too extreme, too challenging, because you kind of lose interest within the group. The same as if you make it too challenging and there's a moderate risk of failure, you just kind of lose interest. So just make sure it's challenging enough where people feel like they can actually be part of something. Number five, available resources. That way they have support and that they see that these goals are achievable. Number six, high coordination in the group. It's important for the group leader to delegate tasks to make sure that everyone has a role. That way, when they come together, they can complete these goals. And number seven, cooperative versus competition. A cooperative group focuses on the group and the importance of accomplishing goals together, but when there's a lot of competition involved, it's kind of hazy, so that it focuses more on the individual and how well they progress compared to others. So it's important to have cooperative groups. With that being said, cooperative groups focus more on the group in its entirety. They're open, they're honest, they involve trust, and there's emotional investment between the group members. So ways you can have a cooperative atmosphere, make sure you set goals where the personal goals of the person that's involved in the group matches the goals of the group. That way you can kind of, that way people are engaged as well. And also it's important to have a cooperative group because there's more problem solving involved with that. So when we think of a football team, what's the main goal of a football team? Yeah, to win, to get a touchdown. So that's a cooperative team, even though, like, let's say I'm a football player, and my goal as a football player is to win, but so isn't everyone else's. So if you're all going towards the same goal, doesn't it seem like better to achieve if you have multiple people going towards that? So for the competitive, it's destructive. The focus is more on the individual, and it just doesn't, I guess it's a lot of conflict, they would say. It's very selfish, it benefits just the person, just one individual. So a lot of people just end up comparing themselves to others and seeing how far they can get without everyone else's help. But the benefits are, it encourages people to work harder. So let's say someone auditions for a play. Obviously the best person at it is going to win, so is going to get that part. So we'll have that best person in that position in a play. Does that make sense? So it does have its benefits, but it is destructive in a group setting.
Excuse me, so this is going into more specific of like different actions inside of groups. So the nominal group approach is a goal setting technique, and it's different than brainstorming, because when you sit down, you're like, okay, what is our goal? Like, picture a task force, or sitting down, you're like, okay, what are we going to do with this task force? You have a lot of people talking at each other, and it takes a long time, and a lot of time voices aren't heard because there's different like power levels. So the nominal group approach involves everyone just sitting down and like privately writing their own goals, and then you go together and you read every single goal. So it's faster because you don't have people talking over each other, and also you get to hear everyone's ideas and have a better chance at having a goal that covers everyone's personal goals. So yeah, benefits, more time efficient, and ensures everyone's voice is heard. And then, so going into group norms and conformity. We've kind of more familiar with group norms. They're an accepted behavior of groups. So we're kind of learning about society, like there's societal norms that everyone does something, like, I can't think of a societal norm right now. Everyone says hello in the morning. Like, it's just kind of a thing you do. Like, we walk in, we say hi. Like, that's a society, like a group norm for us. So they're usually learned by positive and negative reinforcement. So you do something that people like, you get a positive reaction, but if you don't do something right, like you'll get a negative reaction. You learn what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to act. And also modeling. So you're sitting in a group, you're watching how other people interact, you start modeling their behavior. And then conformity is a little bit different because it's a struggle between your own personal values and norms and the groups. So if there's a difference, that's what's considered conformity, because you're changing yourself. So I use peer pressure as an example, and then there's two types of conformity. The expedient conformer is kind of like the fake conformer. They'll act like they think the group thinks they should act, but internally they don't like agree with what they're doing. And then the true conformer actually changes their beliefs and their values to match that of the group.
Idiosyncrasy credits. It's not exactly like a tally sheet of like how many points you get, but normally if you conform to the group, like you get, a rise in status. So it makes everything like kind of easier for you. Do's and don'ts of norms. Norms should be established that improve the group's capacity to function effectively. Non-functional norms should be identified and discarded or replaced so that everything like kind of works together. And important norms should be enforced immediately, especially after someone violates it, so that it's not okay and it keeps going on, so they have a reason to keep breaking the rules. Problems of conformity. Hostile or disruptive members who fail to conform to the groups should be present in any group. It's mostly present in like groups that are involuntary, like people that have like a court order to do something. They already don't want to be there, so they already have that negative effect. various like types of disruptive behavior